shift the way you lead, the way you live. Clarity, courage, change. Because your next level won't wait. This is Monday MindShift, the clarity you've been craving, the shift you didn't know you needed. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday MindShift. Sean Michael here, and excited to be here with you for this second week of August. And go ahead and drop in the chat where you're joining from, what you've gotten out of previous episodes, anything like that you want to share as we let everybody come in. And before I jump into the teaching, I don't want to jump in and nobody's here. So right now I'm pulling it up on my phone so I can follow along to see when everybody shows up, because the system doesn't always tell me if people are watching. So the way I know is by your comments, and you drop a hi, you drop a hey, there's something on your nose, anything like that. Go ahead and drop that. Tell me where you're joining from. And as I said, what are you getting out of these series? What's landed for you in all of it? Or what are your wins for the week? What are the challenges you're facing in your week? Either the week that just finished or the one you're going into. Love to hear from you. Rob, welcome. Hello, Sharon. Good morning over there in Phoenix. And Rob, I think, is further east, if I recall. I forget. Thank you for being here, whether you're watching live, like Sharon and Rob, anybody else who's watching live, or you're catching the replay. No, first of all, I appreciate you taking time out of your day, because time is that one resource that I think is the most valuable, because other resources we can gain more, we can put some away, etc. But time, we all get the same. And when it's gone, it's gone. The only question becomes, what did I do with that time? So I know everybody's busy, and I am extremely grateful when you pop in and say hi, listen along, however you engage with the show. Denver. So you're not too far from Miss Sharon. All right. So let me look at my notes and we can get started. So first of all, for those like Sharon and Rob who have been here before, welcome back. If you're new here, feel free to let me know that this is your first time. How did you find me, etc. What drew you in? But first of all, I want to kind of sketch a line through the last month. And here's why. Today's episode, we're going to turn a little bit and we're going to point in a new direction. So over the last 4 weeks, we've talked about owning what you built, walking into every room as you, the one version, trusting yourself, and sizing your promises with the goal of actually keeping them. This is the way I see it. Through all of that, there's a shared thread. And that is, are you the author of your own identity? Or are you going by someone else's script? And today we're going to take that exact question and I'm going to aim it specifically at one of the loudest things online today: AI. It's my belief that you'll look at this and you'll see this. Happy Monday, Lisa. Bill, welcome. Sherilyn, haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. So I believe you will find this is not a new question. It's just a different perspective, a different, let's say, costume. And as I always do, I want to call this out. I didn't plan this. I didn't schedule this. This came from you guys, the ones who watch, who jump on stage and talk. And specifically last week, when I had Bill and Timothy and Rob up on stage, and we were good morning, Christy. Happy Monday to you all. So we had Rob and Bill and Timothy up on stage. And the conversation shifted. I don't know if maybe you were there, maybe you weren't, about AI making music. You know, whole songs that are generated. Somewhere in that, we surfaced the reality. AI can make a track. AI can create things for us. So what makes it human? I would say it's you deciding and guiding. Your voice sits underneath the music. Or I read my notes wrong. As Bill said, he tells it the voice under the music. The drums come in here. He's made decisions to guide the AI to create what he wants for it. Good description, Sharon. An MIT PhD intern who never gets tired and complains is the way I like to say it. So here's my question today. Who's driving? Don't give me your calendar your company answer, or based on your calendar. I mean you. You sitting at your phone at your desk in the middle of the task. Are you orchestrating what's happening? Or is it running the show? Go ahead and drop your first honest answer in the comments. I'm not looking for the flattering one that makes us all look brilliant. The truth. Here's what I think this is the AI moment is all about. On the surface, it looks like just a strategy conversation. Will it take my work? Do I need to learn these tools? Am I behind? These are all very real questions. But they're just at the top. The deeper question, it's a much older question. If the thing that you built your value on can now be done, at least partly, by a machine, who are you when you sit down to do your work? I'm not talking about the market. It's an identity question. And this is what I want you to carry today. The fear was never that the tool can do the work. The fear is uncertainty about who you are underneath the work, the one who's doing the choosing. Let's go back to the music. The tool can generate the entire track, everything. The voice, the drum line, the melody, the harmony, all of it. So what makes one, as we say, AI slop, noise, and the other could be a true piece of art? Aloha, Dave. And Melanie, welcome. Right? Are you just telling it to create something and letting it do what it wants to do? Or are you orchestrating? Put this vocal below the beat here. Add a saxophone in there. That's authorship. That's a human orchestrating a machine rather than being replaced by it. Now, here's where it's going to, for some people, this might be a little uncomfortable. I'm looking at Bill's comment here. A lot of people have stopped authoring a long time ago. And what we're seeing today is the machine is making that very obvious. Ask yourself, have I been just supervising a life that runs itself, executing that role, reaching the marks, generating output, and using that catchphrase, I'm busy? Looking at it and say, wow, I was very productive. The truth is, somewhere in the inside of that, we stop actually deciding anything. All right, let me go to the comments. All right, so we got Rob over in Denver, Sharon down in Arizona, Sherilyn way up in Minnesota. Bill, you weren't as late today, definitely. Rob, the glitches could be the LinkedIn stream. I've had similar issues watching, getting ready to type a comment, and I lose it. Christy, Lisa, welcome. Aloha over in Hawaii, Dave. Melanie up in New York. Bill, glad you're here listening. Saging your room. Sharon, yes, AI has no soul on its own. It will create something very polished that if nobody really looks at it deeply, it'll just produce something. But how many times have we gone through life soulless, without direction, without driving, right? Where we're just, I don't know, along for the ride. And for everybody, I'm going to put it in. I think this is the right way to do it. I'm putting the YouTube link to my channel because I see Christie's migrated over there. And I see LinkedIn is not cooperating with me. Let's see. Does that take you to the right place? Yes. So that link in the chat is directly to the channel where if you're having trouble on the LinkedIn side, go ahead and open up to YouTube. I often do that, use the LinkedIn side for commenting, do the YouTube side for actually hearing what the speakers are saying. All right. So now I want to jump back in. We talked about, it sounds like this conversation is AI, but it's deeper than AI. AI is just the latest iteration. So I want to go to the 2-chair exercise now. In chair number 1, let's call that the operator. The one who runs the machine of their own life, runs it well. That version of you is competent and reliable, keeps it all moving. And its belief sounds like this: as long as the work gets done, I'm fine. The problem is the operator mistakes motion for authorship. This version of ourselves can go a whole day, maybe even a whole year, hit all the marks. But when you review the footage, what decisions were made? Right? We could even call this the autopilot self. It's comfortable and it works until a machine shows up. You can do the exact same thing. And the operator goes, what was I really contributing? On the other side, chair 2, let's call it the author. Everything's the same, right? The desk, the tasks, even the tools, including those 2 letters that strike fear for a lot of people, AI. The difference, the author is present in the decisions. That version of you chooses what it's all for. Why am I creating this thing? Why am I running this agent? Why am I doing that? And that version of us chooses the yeses and the nos consciously. Has a vision. What is this in all service for? Still have a busy schedule, a full calendar. The reality is the author is often doing less. But the reality is They're just in the room when it really matters. All right. Same question we always say. Not which chair is better. Ask yourself, what chair am I sitting in right now? On that task that you have on your plate, whatever, like Sharon's cooking some chicken up. And here's the prompt for today. Finish this in the comments. The last thing I actually decided and not just executed was, and go ahead and fill in that in the comments. I'd love to see your answers. While I'm giving that some time, let me put that in the chat. Oh no, Christy. The joys of not owning the platform, right? We can get in jail and we didn't even technically do anything, right? We're at the mercy of another. Sharon says it beautifully. There are levels of consciousness. Many are on autopilot. I know I've been there. Sleeping at the wheel. And here we are in an age where we've got driverless taxis. We've got cars that will drive themselves. But how often do we do this in life? Where we're just kind of along for the ride, a passenger on this journey, not making any decisions. So I'll reiterate that question. What is the last thing you actually decided and not simply executed it? All right. Here's my reframe, and it might sound a little strange. This is the way I see it. This whole AI panic, it's actually doing us a favor. Why? Because it's exposing something that was already true before we even knew anything about AI, before we ever saw the first tools. People have been operating on autopilot, letting their role do the driving, not authoring, supervising. Machine didn't do that. The program didn't do that. But it did shine a spotlight on it. So let's look at why is it so threatening? I would say if a machine can do the role, the unavoidable question here is, what was I adding to the role? What was I actually contributing? Honest answer, some days not much. It's not that you're a fraud. And listen carefully here, because I know how some can take this. Realizing that we're coasting on our competence Doesn't prove we're empty. It's the standard shape that life takes, right? Things are going well. I know what I'm doing, just kind of cruising. Competence, the more competent you get, the less of your full presence has to be there. That's right. Isn't that exactly what getting good at something really means? Is that you don't have to think about it as much, it becomes automatic. I think back to my military training. And the whole point of everything we did, everything we learned was to install automated action. Right? Because we could be thrust into a situation where the rational mind was not available. We see this especially like this is like 10x in elite forces like SEALs or Rangers. They don't have to think, it's automatic. But in everyday life, if we're not paying attention, getting good at something does the same thing. And our presence slips away. There's nothing keeping it there. Failure? Nope. That's success. But then we drift. That drift, perfectly normal. Happens to anybody when they get competent. The real risk is staying gone, staying in that catatonic state instead of grabbing the wheel and taking control, making a decision in the mix. So let's come back to the hook, to the question I asked at the beginning. Who's driving? AI wasn't the point. It's just what the passenger looks like today. The one that actually asked the question, who's steering this thing? It made us ask that question. Who's driving it? We see it everywhere, right? This is AI slop. Substack has AI detection now. LinkedIn wants you to report it. It's everywhere. It's a reality of our world. As Sharon said, it's the new flavor, right? Every time we've had a major advance, right? Factories, automobiles, the internet, the smartphone, it's challenged us. So we can sit there and put our head in the sand, or we can wake up and go, okay, wait a minute. What am I going to do? Let me grab the wheel. Stop avoiding the question. Stop being a spectator in our own life. Make a decision, orchestrate something. My final reflection today is this. If a machine could do the whole task, and I mean anything, I don't mean just writing content. Machine can cook your grill your chicken for you, Sharon. A machine could drive you to work, take the kids to basketball practice, whatever. But if tomorrow a machine could do everything, what would be left in your life, in your role, that would be unmistakably yours? And let me ask this: are you doing it on purpose, or is that on autopilot too? If you're watching or listening, maybe it brought something up for you that you felt, but you couldn't put a finger on it. You couldn't put a name to it. I have an invitation. Book an identity clarity call. It's a single conversation. Nothing is required beyond that, where we can look at what you've built, who you believe you have to be to deserve that, and look at the gap. Find the gap, because that gap, that's where I work. You'll find the link in the comments. Leslie, welcome. But it's easy. dailypowerboost.com/identity. All right. With that, that's everything for today. I've added the link for the studio if you're willing to come up and share, ask questions, anything like that. But while you're thinking about that, think about a time, and share it if you're willing, where you went from author to operator and didn't even notice. I love that. Find your ability, what makes you unmistakably you. Connect it with your deservability. Unless I'm getting that wrong, Leslie. Right? As Rihanna says, shine bright like a diamond. Because you are. But what kind of diamond? Me too, Sharon. I love grilling. I love grilled food. Not much fun cleaning that thing. Actually, I would love like a automatic menu planner, right? Where I give it some feedback, like what I'm feeling like. Do I want Chinese? Do I want Turkish? What kind of food do I want? What kind of vegetables, meats? Do I want rice? Do I want potatoes? What do I want? And then create a menu. I don't mind cooking it. I love cooking it. The challenge we have in my house is we all sit there and go, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. Whatever you want. And we're all sitting there. And to be honest, it doesn't matter if we're cooking it or if we're having a meal out. What do you want? I don't know. Whatever you want. Although my son does have a system. He goes to the restaurants, looks at the toys, and that's how he decides. He doesn't really care about the food. And he looks at all the different restaurants at the mall, and whatever has the best toy, that's the one he wants. All right. So, another question, think about a decision that perhaps you've treated as fixed that really is yours to make. Very good, Christy. Owning your rarity, right? Because I'm assuming that's not an appearance thing. Yeah, mood eater. My wife will say, I want Chinese tonight. And if she gets Chinese, it's a win. If it's anything else, she's disappointed, right? Because she had that taste in her mouth. You know, she already envisioned what the meal was going to be like. All right. So we've all heard of Pareto's principle, right? The 80-20 rule. So let's use this as a diagnostic. Let's call it the 80-20 diagnostic. If AI could do 80% of your work well enough tomorrow, what would you do with the 20% that it can't touch? And how does that make you feel? Excited or anxious? I'll drop that in the chat. If I can type right. The invite to the stage is still there if anybody's willing. I feel like something's wrong with me. Nobody ever wants to come on my stage. Everybody wants to go on Leslie's stage. What's your secret, Leslie? Okay, side question. What makes you keep coming back? Because most of you here are regulars. You've been here every week. Christy says both nervous or excited and anxious. Love to hear more, Christy. As much as you're willing to share.
Go ahead, I'm listening. W-R-E-T-S-T.
So what does that 20% look like for you, Rob? Yeah, generic AI stuff. I've even I'm starting to see this person shares a graphic, that person shares a graphic, and they're starting to all look the same. Yeah, the content might be different, the topic might be different, but outside of that, it's all looking eerily the same. The secret I use with grilling chicken, Sharon, is to parboil it first. So often, all I have to do is just get it on the grill with the spices and the sauce for 10 minutes or less, just to get that grilled part. I would 100% agree, Christy. Excited to do the thing that fulfills me, that lights me up, the thing I love to do. So, how do I do that today? Because AI does a lot. I can design the website and I can review it, but I let AI write all the code for it. Right? I can direct it, I can guide it, I can orchestrate it. Oh, move this up 3 pixels or whatever. Change that color to this. And of course, I know enough about the code, I can actually go into the code and make modifications myself. But sitting going, yeah, not fun. Or the other thing I love is these AI voice capture, where, well, I'll give you a demonstration. You'll be able to hear me and then you'll see the text. All right. Hola. Hello to everyone. How are you today? This is a demonstration of my AI voice to text tool. It cleaned it up. It catches. Rob, don't worry about it. This is yeah, no worries. If you're okay doing that on LinkedIn, that's your thing. Doesn't bother me. We just keep it in check. I told you, Rob, I'm an ex-sailor. When I was younger, yeah, we won't even talk about that. I thought I was cooler because I used certain words. Now they're much more chosen. So yeah, voice to text today with AI polishing, cleaning up my stumbles, actually recognizing when I code switch with languages. Porque I can talk to it in cualquier idioma. So it easily code switches. Doesn't matter what language, and I can save time typing. I used that on a recent chapter. I hand my chapter for the new book from Guiding Brilliant Writers, the anthology. I wrote it out by hand. And then I used my little voice tool, recited it all. The document was typed in minutes. If I'd sat and typed, I'm a pretty fast typer, it would have taken me at least twice as long, and my fingers would have been tired. So, yes, use the tools to do that tedious stuff. That's the boring stuff that you know you have to do, but you don't love doing it. So you have more time to do what you're really good at, that thing that is your special sauce that nobody else can replicate. Like Rob. A little curse word here and there. But as I said, this isn't just all about AI. It's about our own life, right? Who's driving? Are you checking all the gauges? Are you looking ahead? Are you checking the rearview mirror? Are you actively driving your life, authoring your life? Or are you like Homer Simpson, just pushing a button, floating through whatever role, whatever part of your life that you've gotten good at? I get like a machine when I'm editing, when I was editing my wife's book. It was like control, it was this rhythm. Today I would use more AI tools. Still be the human in the loop, because that's the magic, right? The AI can do a lot of amazing things, but you gotta have the human in the loop. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to bring, they want to share? Questions, comments, etc.? If not, this is as good a place as any to wrap it up for today. Once again, thank you for coming. Thank you for your comments, your sharing, most of all, for your presence. You're appreciated, you're loved. Keep shining. Whether you're a black diamond or a brilliant emerald or a dusty old pearl, be you wherever you go. Thank you all. We'll talk to you next week.